And welcome back to Chet Chats. It is the first Wednesday of October, which is insane. That's fine.
Wow.
Which means we are in month 10 of 12 months. So 2019 is almost over. That's crazy.
Wow. We're in the fourth quarter already of the year.
Insane. Okay, as always, we have hi, Keza Ramona. Good morning. Welcome to Chet Chats. We have and Rachel.
Wow.
Ooh, that's exciting.
That's exciting.
Okay, as always, we have our special shout-outs and thank yous for our sponsors, so I'll pass it to you.
Good morning, Sha. How about that? How about saying good morning to a person? Good morning, people, family, and friends. Thank y'all for always joining in. Before we get started, I got to say sponsorship shout-outs, Changing Lives at Homes, Hefe Hair, HefeHairStudio.com, NotItTogether.com, LyricPartyGame.com, LACruiser.com, Premier Title and Tag.com, Synergy.com, and TLC.com. Thank y'all for always sponsoring us in our endeavors and all the other people that continue to view us and spread the positive messages. What's going on, Shy? Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everything? Again.
Everything's going.
Hortense, hello.
October is my favorite month of the year.
And why is that?
You know, I honestly am unsure, but it has always been my favorite month of the year.
You know I never do that?
Yeah, well, it is.
Wow,
you know,
okay.
October and then March and then my birthday month.
Okay,
But
okay.
that's neither here nor there. But, so I'm excited for this month to have lots of great things happening this month.
Okay.
But
What's
per usual,
right.
I have picked a topic with lots of questions.
Okay, as usual. People,
so
please help.
Today's topic, Dad, is jealousy.
Wow.
So for starters, can you please define the word?
Okay.
And I will be looking it up so we can make sure.
Jealousy is envious of someone's achievements or abilities in life. Is that close?
It would help if I typed the word incorrectly into my search engine. Please hold.
Okay. See, get this all together.
Jealousy is a noun, the state of feeling or being jealous. So let me type in jealous.
Thank y'all, Therese, for joining in as well. So
see, October is a good month. So
I told you it's a good month. Okay.
Jealous is feeling or sharing envy of someone or their achievements and advantages.
Okay. I left out the advantages part.
But that's basically
I was close.
So
what would you like to talk about?
My next question in my series of never-ending questions is, in your opinion, do you think that jealousy is an innate trait, so everyone is born with jealousy or the ability to feel jealousy, or is it something that is taught? So, is it nature versus nurture, or what is your take on it?
Wow, that's an interesting.
And please, as always, feel free to answer as well.
Yes, thank you, people. As I share with you, feel free to chime in. Well, it's an innate jealousy. I think it may be. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, because I'm as I'm at this age now, I don't believe I share any jealousy traits in me. I'm always the promoter of the underdog, or even the person that's successful, because I want to learn from them. If it's a particular success that I want to indulge in, I want to learn from them. So I don't think me personally at this age, I'm a jealous individual or have jealousy tendencies in me. Have I been jealous when I was younger? I might have. I'm not 100% sure, so I can't go. We would need more time for me to go back and reflect on when I was younger to see if that was in me. But I always been a child and a young man that promoted people to want to be better or do better than I myself. So I hope I'm answering your question. I don't know if it's an innate or not. Do we have the tendencies to be in us? I believe so. And the reason I say that, because talking to other people, they tell me that they think they were born with jealousy in them, because I would ask them, why are you jealous of this young lady, or why are you jealous of this young man? Because of their success. And oftentimes they would say, because that's not them. Hey, Nick, thanks for joining as well, and all the other various people that we don't see on the screen. So do you believe, how do you feel about jealousy, since you brought it up? Because it's something that's getting you to bring this up. So how do you feel about it? I hope I answered your question.
Yeah,
I hope I answered it. But I know at this age, and I've always been a promoter of wanting people to do better.
Yeah.
Have I done some bad things? Absolutely. But for the most part, I've never been a person that tried to take another person, quote unquote, shine from them.
Yeah.
If they have all the glory and there's something that I wanted to participate in, I would ask them, how did they get that way? So that way I can learn from them. Now, I would never hate on a person. And anybody that know me, if I did when I was younger, forgive me as I matured to grow, but I'm not sure I ever been jealous of a person. Because I believe God built life for me, if that makes sense. So,
I think there are a lot of studies on it, and like I'd have to do a little bit more like intense research, but I feel that it could possibly be something that you're born with, but whether or not you like ignite that flame within you, then it's a matter of, oh, like that person's a jealous person versus that person's not. So I think that everyone is capable of feeling jealousy. I don't think anyone is exempt from having the feeling. Right.
Okay.
I do think that some people, sort of like similar to what you're saying, some people just, I mean, they have it within them, but they don't act upon it, if that makes sense. So they're not like, if you did something really great in your career, and I'd be like, oh, Dad, that's great. Like, I wouldn't feel the need to be like, oh, I have to compete or I have to be better than what you are. Does that make sense? So I think we're all similar. We have similar feelings and beliefs on that particular.
So do you believe competitiveness potentially could cause jealousy?
That's a good question. I think possibly, yeah. Like, I'm a competitive person, but I'm not upset or I don't feel like anger or any type of like negative, like ill will towards a person.
If they happen to be better than you at that particular skill set.
You can't be good at everything.
Like, right. I don't think you can be great at everything. I think you'll be fair at everything for the most part.
Which is still not good. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I said fair.
My Aunt Ina used to tell me, because when I was younger, I want to be good at everything, like all the time. It's like I wanted to be great at dancing, but then playing sports and this and the third. And she was just like, well, you can't, if you were good at everything, that wouldn't leave anything else for anyone else to be good at something.
Wow, that's an interesting concept. Your aunt told you that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, she told me a lot of things.
Held on to that one. But anyway, so that goes with saying it's like, I don't necessarily think being competitive and jealousy aren't necessarily linked together.
Okay. So now with jealousy, because what I realized is growing up, I have known and through my sabbatical, I met some jealous type people when I was gone, away and whatnot, and I couldn't understand their concept of why would they cause that to be in them. Because like I'm not gonna waste my time. So say you're doing something I like, right? Okay. And I don't know how to do what you're doing.
Okay.
I'm gonna either read a book, I'm gonna ask questions, or I'm gonna even come to the source and say, hey, when you have time, can you mentor me in the development of that, whatever that understanding may be? Rather than me going around talking bad about you to people like, I can't stand Shy because this and that. And really, it's not that I can't stand you. It's just that I'm lacking of that experience of, in my opinion, of knowing how to do it. So
I think that has to do with pride then, because a lot of people have a lot of pride and are prideful, and
hubris at times.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't like asking for help, and I mean, I think it's a skill set to learn how to ask for help, because a lot of people like pride themselves on being independent. Like I know that I'm independent, but at the same time, I have learned that I cannot do everything on my own, so I have to ask for help when necessary. But as far as that one goes, your example, I do think a lot of it has to do with putting aside your pride as a person and being open. And it all goes back to mindset, like what we talk about all the time.
Your mindset and whatnot. So like Nikki said, learning and growing, and I think people should want to do that every day. I think, and then embrace it. Some people are greater than others at certain things.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fact. Like I wanted to be 6'2", but everybody that know me, that didn't happen. So no matter what.
I think going to school, or like specifically college, is kind of one of those things that opened my mind for me. It's like Chet, my brother, studies engineering. He is an electrical engineer, but I studied dance and writing, and then Chelsea studied like history and psychology. So they're all different things. And it's like, for me, I think it took going to school to realize that like not everyone is good at everything. Like all the stuff that my brother does, like I I can look at it for days and not understand it. And he's taking dance now, and he's like, I don't understand. Like, he's taking intro dance.
Okay, wow, good for you, young man.
We'll see how that one goes. Right. But like, so basically, so he talks to me, and he's like, Shy, like, I don't understand like how you do this, but to me, like, that's normal. Like, that's my thing, whereas that's his thing. So I do think that a lot of it has to do with like, you just have to have a certain skill set. And it doesn't mean that you're bad at it. You're just not as strong in that particular field as you are in something else.
Right. I think jealousy is a trait that we need to work on getting rid of, because I think it hinders a lot of other people's greatness, in my opinion. And please feel free, people, to chime in on anything we're talking about, because, again, as I always state, I do not have all the answers. And neither do my daughter. I'm speaking for you on that part.
I don't.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Okay, you are. Yeah, because I ain't, sometimes you can speak for a person and they don't want you to speak for them. So forgive me, people, but honestly, I believe that if you're suffering from jealousy traits, please seek advice and help from others, because your greatness is there as well, I believe. And you might have to find your greatness. It might not be in actually what you think you should be great in.
Yeah.
And you might have to find your greatness within the things that make you great.
Mm-hmm.
Because oftentimes, and this is a fair assessment, I'm not an entertainer, right? But I find enjoyment in the people that I know that entertain, because they have been very successful, some higher than others as they relate to that craft.
Okay.
However, it doesn't diminish me as a person, because I'm not a great entertainer.
Yeah.
So that's what I would never try to because you know how they say never use never as an absolute. So I'm gonna refrain from that. I will do my best to always encourage people to be their greatest person.
So do you think that jealousy potentially has to do with maybe like lack of self-esteem or lack of confidence in being?
Absolutely, in my opinion. I believe it has a lot to do with insecurities within themselves,
yeah,
lack of self-esteem, and I don't know how that came about, because I don't know how everybody was brought up in life, so I can't give you a definitive answer on that, how it came about. But I do believe it's some of the reasons why we had jealousy amongst us, especially when people are doing well and they're not, is the word well is used, and they're not doing as well in that particular area and whatnot. I just think that instead of them saying you don't like that person, won't you go up to that person and ask them? And potentially they might answer or they might not. But I think it's more for you to learn and grow. Get a mentor, in a particular craft that you want to get. Because it bothers me to know, because, I believe in God a whole lot. And I talk to him a lot prior. Anybody know me prior to my sabbatical, I had a great relationship, in my opinion, with God and the Lord, or whatever adjective you wanted to call now and you want to use for him or her. That's a whole nother subject. Forgive me.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, anyway, people, forgive me, but I just think that you should have a strong understanding of yourself, your mindset, and be loving of yourself, because you have qualities in you that other people don't have, whatever they may be. Like, again, I'm not the best dancer. Anybody know? Well, I can't dance at all, people. But the point I'm making is that even though I can't dance, I admire dancers that dance.
Yeah.
I don't get upset that they're better dancing than me and then wish illness upon them in any capacity. And I always been a person that try to uplift people for the most part, I believe. So
I was gonna say, I think if anything, it should be a matter of if you're not strong in a particular area and you'd like to be, then it's almost in a sense like admire those who are good at it, and then you like work to become that. And maybe like if you put in a lot of work, you're still not going to be the best at it, but that's okay. Like that just might mean that that's not your calling.
Well, you need 10,000 man hours to be.
That's
efficient.
A lot of hours.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're aware.
Right, but people don't understand
that's a lot of hours. Yeah, but I think it's just more so a matter of like in my opinion, I think that jealousy is something that you can overcome, and it is something that you don't necessarily have to have, but you have to be willing to work on yourself. And I feel like a lot of people are unwilling to work to better themselves.
Because you think they want to blame all their circumstances on other
entities, other forces of life. Yeah.
Instead of them focusing on the entity within themselves to control the things that they can control immediately.
I do. I think that change and wanting to better yourself is a want. Like, you have to want to better yourself. You have to want to get yourself out of the situation that you're currently in if you want to,
go to another
a better, quote unquote, better situation that you can see yourself in. So I think a lot of it goes back to everything that we always talk about. Is like it starts within you. Mm-hmm. And again, like, as a believer of God and as someone who does pray often, it's like you can pray for these things and you just have to be patient in the timing of life to actually see them transpire and prosper. But a lot of it, I think that it does stem from within. And I believe that self-esteem is something that is maybe taught, like it's taught, or it's something that
was broken down from some people, like some people household, they're not building.
Right, exactly. I think it's something that you have
to, I know this.
You have to like see. It's like you need examples.
You need examples, okay, often and whatnot. And say you don't know that you say you want to get to a place, like say you don't want to have a jealousiness about you, mm-hmm. right? So then that person may not know this. So what do they need to do to get to the next level if they don't know it? Because some people really don't know that they're jealous.
Yeah.
So I think that they're jealous of people.
And if that's the point, if that's someone that you genuinely care about, you got to call people out on mm-hmm. their BS, to be honest. Like, that's the only way, in my opinion, that you mm-hmm. stop negativity. It's like you have to nip it in the bud when you see it. And if that person genuinely does respect you and your opinion, then they'll listen to you. I mean, no one likes being called out for things. I don't think, personally. I don't think anyone likes being, because they feel like it's they're being reprimanded
or rejection.
Exactly.
Something like that.
But I feel as though, like, if you want that person to be a better person and you somewhat sort of know that person also wants to be a better person, then you need to help them. And by helping them, it might be like, Dad, I think that you're acting some kind of way right now. Okay. And how you react is how you react. And that as a person who is giving those words, you have to understand that they might not react how you want them to react.
Right. And then oftentimes it's how the giver gives the words.
Oh, absolutely. Because most people can't hear themselves. So
exactly.
Yes.
So that's an important part as well. Hey, Cody Mo, thanks for joining in as well, and all the other continuous people. So
help each other. We're a community.
We're a community. So basically, and again, people, we might somewhat become redundant or keep saying the same thing over as it relates to the mindset, education, the willing to learn, the willing to be open to know that you don't know all the answers. And those who do know all the answers, please feel free to call me so I can learn.
Seriously. I have so many questions.
I have a lot of questions that I often ask. I think you should have a spiritual-based essence of your journey. I'm not saying what church or religion you should be, but I think you should have a spiritual interaction with a higher being than yourself, in my opinion. And I think these things will help stop a lot of unnecessary things that's happening, because nowhere in the world you should wake up being jealous of the next person, because especially if you understand the greatness within yourself.
Right.
If you understand the greatness within yourself, and oftentimes your greatness might not be on a TV station or in an app or sports or education. Mm. Your greatness might be within your family, sharing the importance of family, or sharing the importance of love and respect and honesty and integrity. So sometimes I think with society the way it does, especially with this Instagram, social media, even the platforms that we use to promote businesses and whatnot, I think we get overwhelmed with it, because one person told me if they don't get 50,000 likes, that it's not worth posting a picture. And I was like, when did we get to that? That's a whole nother different subject, but I'm just sharing with you, like, I didn't understand that, because, so for me.
That's validation. I think that's what
right.
It sounds like.
And I thank you for sharing that word with me. And I don't think you need validations behind a like. Well, or not like, or love.
And all of that still goes back to that you have to be one. You have to be in your own. Like, you genuinely and wholeheartedly have to be comfortable in the body and in the soul that you are living.
Right. So basically, when you're being whole, I mean, this paraphrasing.
Yeah.
what you think and what you do aligns up with your innate self.
Yeah. Okay. And I think, I mean, I can't speak for those who don't pray because I'm not one of those people because I do. But it's a lot of times you just have to pray for clarity and you have to pray for guidance. And if you don't understand something, then, I mean, pray for that as well. So, yeah.
You don't always have to pray when you're in a
no,
rough
I mean,
spot.
it's like, no, you don't. You can pray all the time. It's like, even if I pray all the time. But even if it's not like you're holding your hands and you're like on your knees, like you're going to bed, you're waking up, etc. It's like you can talk to God at any point of the time, like any point of the day. Like a lot of times, like I'm talking to myself and don't even realize I'm talking to myself till people are looking at me like, what is her deal? And it's like, oh, I didn't know. Like I'm having a whole conversation while I'm walking into a store. So it's like you don't have, there's not a right or a wrong time to pray about things and to ask for guidance.
You don't have to do the traditional on your knees or
go to church,
in the church home or not.
God is everywhere. I wrote this poem a couple of weeks ago that I posted that said, prayers don't fall on deaf ears, God is everywhere.
Wow.
So it's just a matter of like, go anywhere.
So knowing yourself so we can get rid of these jealousy traits.
Yes.
Because honestly, people, when somebody come to you and share something with you, they're not necessarily bragging. They're just happy and want to share it with a person. And if those are bragging about their success, maybe you can then share your success with other people so then they can then go brag about it. I mean, not that I'm saying bragging is a good thing, but if some people receive it as bragging,
well, I think that we have, as a society, have deemed that bragging is a negative word. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't necessarily think that it has to be. It's like parents brag about their kids all the time because they're proud of them, and it's like in their eyes, they're not bragging about them. They just want to share like their success. Your kid worked really hard on this one thing, and I want to let everyone know that they worked really hard on this one thing. Like graduating from school, that's a big deal. You put in a lot of hours. You don't sleep really any if you're actually like putting forth all that energy. It's like you earned that. And I think that a lot of people mistake bragging as something that's bad.
And
it's all tone deaf.
And I was called arrogant for a statement that I made yesterday, because the statement that I made is I said I said people need to follow me. And before I could finish the statement, the person said, yo, you arrogant. I said, no, what I was trying to complete was people tend to follow, quote unquote, a star or a celebrity before they follow the common person with just as much knowledge and understanding as, quote unquote, the celebrity. And that's what I was saying by you need to, like I said, I'm not going to keep simulating to you. You need to simulate to me because I've been blessed.
Yeah, match the energy.
With positive energy. And I didn't think I was being braggadocious or anything, but I know if I was, quote unquote, a celebrity, people would tend to believe more in that. But when a common man, whether it's you, the person that's viewing this video with us, if they say some wise words or have wise statements, it's often tend not looked upon the same manner. That's all I was trying to say.
Yeah, Chet tells me that a lot. It's like people don't genuinely like care or support or believe until you quote unquote have made it, and that made it could mean that you have like a little blue check next to like your Instagram name because you're now verified, or that you are quote unquote famous and that you're seen on TV and etc. etc. But you have to support people from where they are in that point, because if you're not with us now, then how do I know that you're genuinely with me when I make it to the top?
As they call make it.
I mean, yeah.
Right. So any closing remarks?
As always, we go off the air, but that doesn't mean that we go off the air. So please leave your comments and your opinions and everything in the comment section below. Also,
you got a challenge this week.
Well, I mean, sort of, kind of. But really what I was going to say is I think we should have a suggestion, I don't know, like a box or something like that with topics that maybe that you guys are interested in us discussing or something of that nature.
Okay, you change the format.
I think that would be kind of interesting. Maybe, I don't know if you leave in the comments. I'll figure out how to get those suggestions to us because, you know.
That's important. That's true, because we might need to talk about subject matters
like you guys genuinely care about or want to know opinions about. But my challenge, and I'm posting this in my blog post today. I'm just going to plug myself.
I noticed that. This is called chat.
If you don't subscribe, or if you aren't subscribed to my website now, please go ahead and do that. It's my first name, last name.com, so CheyenneFajardo.com.
You want to spell that out?
Yes, CHEYENNEP as in Paul, AJARD as in dog, O for octopus.com. People get O's confused. I'm just,
I was for O for Oscar, but
I think octopus is better.
Okay.
But the challenge is, because we are entering a new month, I'm challenging you just to change the soundtrack that you have created for yourself. So if you're not in the position that you'd like to be in, or that you believe that you should be further along in your journey, change the mindset to what if this doesn't to what if it does. Change that. Change all the pessimistic to optimistic types of things, and then watch all your blessings unfold for you. And that is my challenge for you this week, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Peace.